Hello! This is a review of a trade that I took today using TraderFlow, or a couple trades that I took today. So earlier this morning, I'm a member of Live Traders Trading Group. So I was in the chat room this morning and kind of doing like my pre-market analysis. So I took a look at the ES and I just kind of set out some levels. Most of my trades, I would say, I primarily trade using support and resistance levels. So I kind of marked these out based upon historic data. So I marked out my levels on the ES and on the NQ just as kind of like a market bias. And then NVIDIA came up, and I actually took a look at this chart earlier, and I really liked it. But I wanted to see a pullback back to kind of like Monday's high of day. Because this huge gap up, I just wanted to see it pull back here, and then kind of take a look at what the market was going to do, and then with the expectation that it's going to kind of take off or go back to all-time highs. So just to confirm or verify, so here's the Live Traders chat room, and then if you go up here, if you're a member, you can go up here and then search. So I'm just going to search for my own, but I believe that I called this out earlier in the morning. Yeah, so we mentioned this, and before the market opened at 917, I put on my watch list, hey, I really like NVIDIA long if it can pull back to 222. So, I got in here. This is a 65-minute chart. I'll show it on 15, and then back here, I think. So market opened, it popped like crazy right off the bat, and I even put a message in there, NVIDIA taking off, but there's not really an entry here. Then I was watching the NQ because if the NQ failed, my hypothesis was, this is kind of like the turning point right here at this 29,189. If this failed hard, I was expecting, okay, this could actually drop all the way back down to 28,804 based off of a previous gap. I don't have to go into that now, but that didn't. That held, and then right around here, it did bring NVIDIA down with it, but I liked when that held, and then this came down and just kind of touched that 222, and this is a great entry. I was like, okay, I'm gonna get in here, and then set my stop loss like right below that low of day. I called it. I called this trade at I called it at 9:49. I got into 5:15 May 15 options. That says 200, but actually I think it was like 220. 220. Here, I'll check. I took some screenshots. Here's my journal entry. My entry price was 265, and these were 225 calls. So I made a mistake. I put 220, but it was actually 225 calls. Or I put 200, but it was 225 calls. But anyway, so I got in on the 225 calls at $2.40 or $2.65 initially, and then set a stop loss of $2.40. So 25-cent stop loss because it was already at low day. I was thinking, hey, if it fails here, it's probably going to fail hard. I don't want to risk very much. I'm expecting it to hold here. So, I'm getting in pretty much, right here, right as market is also showing some support. And then, popped up, within the first 5 minutes. So that was good. So I was in a positive, trade already in the first 5 minutes, which always feels really good. But I did a good job of keeping my stop loss. I kind of changed my order management strategy primarily because of TraderFlow. And I'm really glad that I was using TraderFlow because I trade with TradeStation primarily. And TradeStation crashed 3 times on me while I'm right in the middle of this trade. So if I didn't have TraderFlow there, like managing it for me, I probably, who knows, I might not have been able to exit. I might have been fighting with it. The whole entire thing just crashed on me 3 times. And it's not to knock TradeStation. Like, I like TradeStation. I've been using them for years. I'm a big fan. I've talked to their developers. The developers are solid. But, I was in the trade. Let's see, what time was I in the trade? My journal entry shows that I entered the trade right at 9:49 a.m. And then, I'm in the trade, and it's bopping up and down. And then look at this. Right at 10 o'clock, it crashes on me. Then as it's going around, it crashes on me again at 10:19, and then it crashes again at 10:20, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, come on, like, actually all I was trying to do in TradeStation, I wasn't trying to manage it. I was just trying to look at the level 2. But that can be very, very frustrating, and it's happened to me before, where you're in a trade and you're trying to get into a trade, and your broker locks up or crashes or something, you can't do anything, or you're in a trade and then you're trying to exit, and then the broker crashes or locks up, and you can't do anything. So I was grateful to have TraderFlow there, just because of the peace of mind. Because actually the only thing that I was using TradeStation for was just watching that level 2. There was a ton of sellers at 225, and I did. If you look at my journal entry here, I fought with this huge. Like I normally scalp like really quick. Most of my trades in and out, within a couple minutes. But all of my back testing from TraderFlow was showing that, hey, I should be going for longer entries, or longer targets, or higher targets. And all the back testing said, hey, great, you made 30 cents, or great, you made 60 cents or 70 cents. But if I just held, the target was $2 or $3 or sometimes even more than that. And I usually trade lower priced options. So, with like a little bit more risk, like for this case, it was like, I took $2.65 options, which is a little lower. It was out of the money, but I threw in 10 contracts. So I like that, just my strategy, just my style, just because they move a little bit slower, and then as they get closer to the money or in the money, then they usually take off, which is what happened here. And then the risk is low, just psychologically and emotionally. I don't like having that, very, very high maximum risk, where, if this thing goes down to 0 or something crashes, or, I have something, you can lose large amounts of money. I don't like that. So I like to be more conservative, and, maybe it's not the best, maybe I'm not making the most amount of money with it, but, it fits my personality, at least for now. But, I'm finding out that, my personality can change, so, I struggled with this. Like, I even put it in my journal. Like, I really liked my entry, and I'm sitting there watching it, and the whole entire time, I'm watching this. I'm watching it go up and down and go up and down here, and I'm like, oh, I'm up 50 cents here, and I'm up 60 cents here, and I was like, okay, I'm up $1 here, and it's popping up and down, popping up and down. I'm like, oh, should I just take the dollar? But I'm thinking on my chart analysis, I was expecting it to get to 225, at least I saw in the level 2. I think there must have been 1 million shares sold at 225, and I thought, just, hey, as soon as it breaks over that, it's gonna pop. And I even put that in. I even put that in the notes here. I even made a message post about that. Like, hey, if it breaks over, where is it? If Nvidia breaks over 225, I think it's gonna pop. I posted that at 1027, which was right around here, right when it was struggling. And my psychology was tough. It was like, I normally don't go for the larger targets. So especially on this bar right here, when you're up $1.50, and then it comes back down, and then now you're only up 50 cents. But I struggled with that. But TraderFlow, it said, hey, Chester, this is what you should be doing. And so I struggle with that, even though the software's telling me and the math is there. It's difficult for me, but it kind of made it easier, because I just kept saying to myself, like, hey, trust the math. Like, you have your own emotion and your own thing, but you're not right. Like, obviously you have thousands and hundreds of thousands of backtests saying that, like, hey, this is a better way for you to trade. I finally, today was probably the first time I just kind of like, all right, you know what, I'm just gonna trust the math, and whatever happens. So I set a target of $4.40, which was actually a really good target. I think the high of the day, it actually went to like 460 or something. Here's the options chart, and this is all from TraderFlow too. So I think the max that it got up to was about like 460. So that was a really pretty exit, which is kind of like what I had in mind. And when I entered, I set that target on like Trading View. I was like, okay, I want to enter here. I want to exit like, once I saw the level 2 there at 225, I was like, I probably want to exit right around 226. like right around here, which is pretty much right around where I exited, maybe even 226.50. Just because of that pop, is like, hey, I want to sell into that, into that, into that buying power. But ended up working out great, and I'm really happy. I'm happy that I used TraderFlow because TradeStation crashed, and if I didn't have another method there that could be managing the trades for me, that probably would have freaked me out. I probably would have gotten even more emotional. Oh my God, I can't even sell if I want to. What's going to happen, and I probably wouldn't have been able to have the peace of mind to hold on to this trade, and hit that larger target. So I'm happy for that, and and I just wanted to showcase, so there was the trade, and then there's my journal. I took a few other trades today too. I took MBIS, but I'm just going to review this, this one. But yeah, there's the crashes. There's the there's the journal entry. I have a couple more updates to make on TraderFlow. So that this way I can kind of hide the account details, and then I can show it live a lot more easily. I don't want to show everything live right now because all my personal account information's on there, but I'm working on kind of hiding that. But yeah, that was my trade for the day. I entered right around here, right on this bar, or you can even go to the 1 minute. And it was just a pullback long, so I entered right around here. Market was going with it. And the biggest thing is, regularly I probably would have exited here for 30 cents or 50 cents, or I would have watched it go up to $1 in the past and then come back and then stop me out here. But this time I just kind of trusted it. I trusted my initial strategy, and I trusted TraderFlow for all the essentially I trusted the back testing, and then just followed through with that. So that was my trade.